Hello and welcome to another episode of Joy and Jazz Review.
Where we review things like books, life, amusement parks, movies, anything we deem reviewable, and we give you our opinion. So, welcome.
First off, we want to say welcome to our new subscribers and welcome back to our recurring subscribers.
Returning?
Well, yeah.
But yeah, you guys keep the lights on, so thank you guys for coming back and seeing us every time, because, man, I like to think we're entertaining.
Somewhat.
Just a little. Yeah. So, what are we doing this week?
This week, y'all get a treat. We're doing a review of 2 books and movies.
Yes.
We're doing movies based on books
Right.
for the month.
For the month of December, we're doing movies that were derived from books. Now, we're not doing epic movies like The Hobbit or The Fellowship of the Ring or anything like that, because, man,
It would take the whole month.
it would just for one. But we're doing some of the cooler things, I want to say. So today we're going over which books.
We're doing The Giver and The Girl with All the Gifts.
Yeah.
Which is, they're kind of like similar.
They're dystopian. They're both dystopian books. Yeah. So that's what we're doing today. And stick around. No need for a trigger warning. Not in this book. Not in these books. No?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm. So, let's get into it.
Well, kind of.
Kind of?
For The Girl with All the Gifts.
Yeah.
she's-
You know what? Just in case. Trigger warning. Okay? Just in case we get into something that I forgot about. So, just in case. Trigger warning. So, what do you think, what kind of story, let's pick one first. Which one are we starting with?
Let's do The Giver.
The Giver first? Okay. What kind of story do you think this is, and who's the audience that's intended?
I can't say what kind of story it is. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of...
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is different. I feel like it is like dystopian, but not dystopian to the point where everything is like rotting around, right? Like all the buildings are knocked down and stuff like that. It's not like that. It's dystopian in the point where people are different.
They are different.
They are different.
And like, it's like when you get to a certain age, you have, wet dreams.
Yeah.
That's what we say.
Yeah.
But in the book, they call it the stirrings.
Oh.
And you have to take medicine to, like,
stop it
and not feel those type of feelings.
Right. Exactly. And the medicine also makes it so that you can't see color and you don't have any emotions. And this is how they stop war, any kind of conflict, stuff like that.
Right.
So that is pretty much how this society has dealt with conflict. Is they produced a pill, magic pill.
If only. No, I'm just saying.
Dude, I couldn't live without emotions. Like I have a very fiery personality. You do too.
Right.
Can you imagine if you were just bland the whole time? How boring we would be?
Right? Dry.
Yeah, like white toast.
Right.
With no butter or jelly.
But it hasn't been toasted enough. You just put it in for
right.
a second.
So it's just hard. It's just crisp.
So what is the main conflict of this story?
So the main conflict of this story, as we were talking about, were the magic pills, right? I know that it doesn't make sense that the main conflict is a pill, but this pill takes away your ability to feel anything. So the main character, I forget his name.
Oh, Jonas.
Jonas. Okay. So the main character, Jonas, is what they call a, he's basically he's a historian.
Yeah, I forget what they call him though. He's supposed to be the receiver.
Yeah. And so he gets to feel everything. That way he can remember why they turned him off. And then he's fighting against this pill for his friends so that they can experience everything that he's experiencing.
Right.
So it's like there's a conflict there with the pill, not even so much with like a person.
It's like their whole government, kind of.
Right. Well, but it's society. And as we've learned, people in society are sheep. So they follow along with the status quo. So it's not even so much the government, because the government is taking the pills as well.
Right.
So it's got to be, for me, it's got to be the pill. What do you think?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he's fighting against the status quo.
He's like, everything's going to be different. He was just like, everybody needs to see this. He sees elephants. He sees war. He sees snow.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, this is awesome. Why isn't everybody seeing this? And I get that. Like, if I saw something fantastic, I would want to share it with my friends and, want them and family and want them to experience it with me. So I understand his thought process. But at a certain age, you get chosen to a job or whatever. Right. What you're going to be in life. And it just so happened that he became the historian of the group. And so, yeah, that was my cat. Sorry, guys. This is Thor.
Said, Mom, give me some love.
Thor is in constant need of love and affection. So we're going to have Thor in the video this time. Okay.
Be a good boy.
Be a good boy. So what is the setting of the story?
Into the dystopian world.
It doesn't really tell a name for the city, does it? No, it doesn't. But it's a city that's blocked off from the rest of the world. And during the book and the movie, they talk about how the rest of the world is basically barren. There's nothing there.
Right.
And so this is like it's supposed to be the last vestige of humanity. So they really don't say like who is, like what the name of the city is, but it is a very like black and white, it is black and white.
It was, yeah.
Dystopian type of world.
And the first color he sees is red.
Red. Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's cute. And they were just like, oh, your friend Fiona has red hair. And he just felt the stirrings about her.
Redheads do that to you.
So how does the setting of the story affect the plot?
Okay, so in this book and movie, the setting was really important.
Right.
I mean, we've talked about like the plot setting and whether it's important to the book and the plot, right?
Right.
And most of the books that we read, it's really not. It's just a place, right? But this one was really important because, again, you've got this city and it's super modernized and it's super, it's huge. It's a massive city. And they talk about that, there's nothing else outside the walls. So this city is super important, only to find out that the rest of the world is still out there. Like they just kind of closed themselves off for a long time. It's not like they did it over like 50 years. It's been a long time that they've been living like this.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like this setting was super important to the story. It had to be that way in order for the story to progress. What about you?
Yeah, this book, it like weirdly reminded me of the Hunger Games.
It did. The Hunger Games came after The Giver, I want to say.
Yeah.
But it does have,
it's weird.
Yeah. It's got the city that they live in has uh, Section 1 vibes all day long.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or it's not Section 1. What is it?
They look District 12.
District. Yeah, but they go to District 1, which is the capital.
Right.
And so, yeah, this city has District 1 vibes like all day long.
I'm like, it's just, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Hunger Games?
This is how it starts.
Weird.
Everybody sees color, and now they split into districts and have to start fighting each other.
They're just like, yep, we're hungry. Y'all have to start killing each other. Shit.
What's the inciting incident?
So for I think the thing that really gets the ball moving is the fact that, when Jonas finds out the meaning of releasing, because there's twins that are born, and one of them is, not twins, but there's like another baby that's born, and he's not like developing as fast as he should. So they're just like, okay, we'll give him a little more time, and if he doesn't like do we'll just release him.
Right.
Which is just euthanizing.
Yeah. Yeah. That broke my heart. And I was like, but they don't have any emotions. So they're just like, well, we'll just end it.
Yeah.
You know? And I was just like, but it's a baby. Like, babies have potential. Like, no matter how fast or slow they develop, they have potential.
Right.
And I get why Jonas was so aghast at this, because now he has feelings. And at that point, I believe that his friends have already started, going off their pills, and they're starting to feel things. So they're understanding as well. So I think.
Well, Fiona works at the same in the movie. She works in the same place as his dad.
Yeah, his dad is the doctor,
is like
the
a
nurse.
baby caregiver.
Yeah,
but in the book, she works with the elderly, which is, I was just like completely different.
It's just they work together, but they don't work together.
Yeah. So like, he's like telling her about it, and he's like, the giver is talking to him and is like, your friend Fiona will be learning how to release soon. Like, she'll have to do it. And then his other friend, I forget his name, Asher, he like goes after Jonas, trying to help the people in charge, and it's like a whole thing. But then he like lets him live. He's just like, he's my best friend, and he might have punched me in the freaking face. But, he's probably right.
For all of you guys that have best friends out there, how many times has your best friend just needed a punch in the freaking face? Like, you're just like, you know what? I'm sorry, Dylan. But at that point, you needed a punch in the freaking face, and like, and then you go out for beers, and everything's all right after that.
I'm a pint. There you go.
That's right. Let's see.
So, describe the main characters.
Okay, so I want to say there's two main characters: Jonas, and then the original historian. I want to say they're the two main characters. If you take out the original historian, then it would just be Jonas, because the whole book revolves around Jonas and his plight to share everything that he's learned from all these from all of these visions that the historian has given him.
Right.
And so I feel like he's the main character.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, I feel like he's a stand-up guy.
He is.
Yeah. I really do. I feel like he was just a really good person to be given this ability, and for him to open up I kind of wonder if it was always supposed to be that way there.
Yeah, the giver does mention he was waiting for the right person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so in the book, there's a forget her name, but there's a girl before her, and she's the last receiver, and the last receiver asked her to be released. I guess it was just like too much for her. And it turned out that she was the giver's daughter.
Sad.
So,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Sad.
so
Super sad.
he was just waiting for the right person to be able to show everybody what was going on.
Right.
Really.
Right. The truth of their society. Right here in my lap, huh? Excuse me. Just got his little leg up and everything. All right. Do the characters feel real?
Not really.
No.
I mean, like, but like, kinda. Jonas is like the right person.
I get that.
Like, he would do the right thing.
Like, I feel like all of these characters, in your real life. Like, you would know somebody like Fiona in your real life, and you would know somebody like Jonas in your real life.
Right.
Their plight is not real. It doesn't feel real. But them as people, I feel like they feel real.
He was like, I'm gonna do the right thing.
Yeah.
I think the baby's name is Gabe.
Gabe.
Save Gabe.
I love it because he just really does jump in and he's like, this can't happen anymore.
Yeah.
This can't happen anymore. And I really do love how he puts himself in just a really awful situation, like his family and everything else, just in order to save this little baby.
Yeah. And his mom is like,
oh God.
in the movie, she's like, just like, let me go with the government.
Yeah.
Help them out.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just like, what about your son, dude? What the heck?
But she's got no emotion and she's totally happy with that. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know. She would always get on to him. He would say, like, he was feeling some type of way, and she's like, Jonas. Like, say it the right way, basically.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, oh, I mean, I'm feeling this way.
And that's the other thing is, in the movie, they don't do a very good job of portraying zero emotion. Like, because she does get onto him. Like, she's perturbed with him. Like, she doesn't... Like the only emotion she gets is anger.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I feel like that in the movie, they really didn't do a good job at portraying the zero space of emotion.
It was weird. Like, there was a lot of, like, big actors in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Meryl Streep is in it.
Mm-hmm.
And Katie Holmes, Alexander Skarsgård.
Love
Taylor Swift was in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like a really big deal. So, let's see. You want to describe the minor characters?
So we got Fiona,
Mm-hmm.
but in the movie she plays a bigger part. I mean, like,
Yeah, a huge part in
Yeah.
the movie. Yeah.
and Asher and the I forget what the chief elder. That's who Meryl Streep plays.
Yes.
And she's like more in the movie.
Yeah.
Than
Than
she
she
was
is
in
in
the
the book.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dad, I mean, kind of, and the sister.
Yeah. The baby sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the movie gave the smaller characters a bigger face.
Mhm.
But did they need it? Does that make sense? Like, it's almost like they wanted to sell the movie on the faces of the actors and not so much on the book itself.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So, who's the villain?
The chief elder.
You think the chief elder is the villain?
Absolutely.
But she's on the pill. She's on the pill.
You guys don't know this, but sorry. Tangent. The whole I watched a video about the fantasy thing.
Oh,
The funny video. And
Yeah.
you know, in fantasy books, they don't say birth control.
no.
They say I'm on the fertility suppressant. Or what? Dang. Something, the something brew, I forget. Something.
There was something, yeah. Are you drinking the brew? And I saw that on a TikTok, and I was like, "What's?"
And then somebody said, "Yes, the witch, bless my snatch." I'm like, I'm just like, just say, I don't know, you're on birth control.
You're on birth control.
I just think that's funny
So why do you feel like she's the uber villain?
because she tries to get Jonas and stop him.
But like, that's her job.
Yeah, but you know,
Like she did it. She
knows-
wasn't making it personal.
But she knows about releasing and all that. And
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
But like, so does Jonas's dad.
yeah, I don't know.
Actually, Jonas's dad is, I would argue, even worse because he's actually doing the releasing.
to the babies.
Yeah.
He like injects the baby and he's like, I know that hurts, little guy. It's okay. It's all right. I know it stings. And then just puts the baby in a freaking box.
It was tragic. Like, it was hard to read, y'all. So, all right.
Who was telling the story?
I guess the story is told from Jonas's point of view.
Or like a third person?
Yeah, I think I don't think anybody is, so like, I guess in this book the author is telling the story. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not Jonas.
It's not like I blah blah blah. My name is Jonas, blah blah blah.
Right.
I blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but it's all told from Jonas's point of view.
I don't know, when I was listening to the book, it very much sounded like the narrator from Caillou. Like,
Seriously?
no, but like not the same narrator, but like the same narration style.
Oh, okay.
Caillou was mad at his mom and dad because blah 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 blah.
How
like
boring.
that.
That's awful. You got through that?
Yeah, it was 5 hours. But like, yeah, so like it's the narrator telling the story.
Right. It's the narrator. Yeah. Yeah, I'd go with that. It's the narrator telling the story from Jonas's point of view. Yeah. Yeah,
I was
guys.
like,
Yeah. How should we feel about what's happening?
on the edge. Because
Appalled.
it could happen.
Right.
It could happen.
It could happen.
Not in our time, but
No.
it could happen.
I feel like humans as a whole are more willing to throw away something than deal with it. So if these people had taken their emotions, right, and not thrown them away or suppressed them, but actually learned to deal with them, this would have been a totally different story.
Right.
But I think humans as a whole, we just want to put something in a closet, not look at it, and hope that, it gets better, And so, yeah, I think you're right. It could happen. It's disgusting.
That's why I take pills.
Me too.
Not drugs, but like, prescribed medication.
Yes.
We how did the character struggle as a result of their decisions?
Decisions.
Yeah, choices.
Yeah.
How about that?
Thank you. Thank you. The struggle is to fight against the status quo.
Right.
And their decisions basically get them ostracized from society. Like their decisions, well, society doesn't ostracize them because society wants to kill them, but they basically leave the city in order to save Gabe.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So their struggle is to basically rebuild a whole life that they have no idea what they're doing. Well, Jonas does because he's got all the memories.
Right.
But
And
yeah,
the giver.
and the giver.
And like in the movie, he's supposed to be released, and Fiona is going to be released too. they were just like, "Yep, you're going to be released tomorrow." But then when Jonas passes that threshold and they actually get their feelings and stuff back, they're just like, let me stop. What
Yeah.
am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm wondering, because this book is part of a 4-book series, I'm wondering if the other books are a continuation, or if like it's from different people's
Point of views.
Yeah.
Or different cities like that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys leave a comment, and if you've read the other books in the Givers series, leave a comment and let us know if it follows along from Jonas's point of view, or if it comes from different people throughout the series. So, yeah, because I would like to know that. I don't want to read them.
They're very short.
Yes, they are, but at the same time, they're just like,
it is very middle school, early high school type book. Like, I definitely read this in school.
Yeah.
But like, I was rereading it and I was like, what?
Like it's like a new, like,
Yeah, Chance was just like, yeah, just wait. And then I was like, they're euthanizing people? And he's just like, yeah, crazy, huh? Chance is like, I love The Giver.
And you're just like, when you're in school and you're reading it, it doesn't dawn on you, like, what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Why are we reading?
I hate reading. Why isn't there a movie already?
Exactly.
What do you think about the characters' choices?
So it's kind of like the last one.
No, this was, how do they suffer due to their choices? What do you think about their choices?
Well, Jonas made the right decision.
Period. Done. You realize this is a discussion channel, right?
Oh. Jonas made the right decision. Yeah. He was Jonasing. The Giver was givering.
Just stop. I think that their decisions helped to push the plot along.
Yeah.
I like that they decided to save Gabe. I like that I feel like the original historian had planned this the whole time, because he had implanted Jonas with the thought of the cabin already.
Right.
He had shown Jonas the cabin. So I think he had designed this outcome throughout, this is what was always going to happen in his head, because he needed Jonas to break free from what was going on.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like, yeah. I feel like they did do good choices, and they did make it along the way. And I mean, nobody died. Sort of.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your star rating?
I give this book a 3.
Okay.
I give the movie also a 3.
I forget what I gave this. I would maybe say a 4. A 4? Yeah.
You know what? It's not my type of read. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like, it was hard for me. Like, even to watch the movie was hard for me. I just could not.
It did kind of drag.
The
movie's not even long.
No,
but
it's not.
I was just like, dang.
Yeah. Yeah. It seemed like it was like a 3-hour long movie, but it really wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was not compelling for me.
Maybe back in the day.
Maybe back in the day it would have been awesome and I would have looked at it different, but we read so much that it's kind of hard to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think I gave it like a 3 or a 4,
Mhm.
which I'll know for sure when I do my quarterly reading wrap up.
Yes.
Next month.
But it had a good ending. It had a good ending. It was very feel good.
Yes. So let's talk about our differences.
Okay.
So I said The Giver, a YA dystopian fiction book.
Nice.
Differences in it is that, like, the ages in the book, they're like 12.
Yeah.
In
They're
the movie,
very young in the
they're
book.
18.
Yeah.
So I put Taylor Swift ? Because why is she there?
You know, I know there's a lot of Taylor Swift fans out there. Like, Taylor Swift is like, she's got a cult following. Like, I like some of her songs. I'm just not a big Swiftie. So I'm not going to talk shit about Taylor Swift, but at the same time, I'm just like, like
I probably wouldn't have recognized her had I not looked at the cast.
Right.
Because she has, like, dark black or brown hair, and she looks different.
She was actually in an episode of CSI, Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of that.
Yeah. And she is actually a really good actress. Like, she really is. But at the same time, I'm just like,
I like the Enchanted song. That's my jam. I'd be busting that out in the car.
Oh, my song from Taylor Swift is Look What You Made Me Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enchanted is my jam. I sing that as Chance. Just like, please don't be another summer.
Enough.
Sorry. Anyway, moving on.
Cringing on the inside, y'all.
Asher, in the book, he's a recreational instructor,
Mm-hmm.
and in the movie, he's a pilot. I was like,
That was the other thing is, in the book, they really don't talk about, like, planes. But in the movie, they've got a whole flight.
They fly, like, drones and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, when did this book come out? Because, like, drones.
Yeah. And the drones, like, keep up with people and watch everybody. So, like, Big Brother, y'all. It's
Right.
Big Brother.
Right.
So, yeah.
So in the book, like, they have certain numbers that they're assigned as babies. And in the book, Jonas was number 19, and in the movie, he's number 52.
Mm-hmm.
Fiona, in the book, she works with old people. In the movie, she works with babies.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's like in the movie, they like cut out the progression because she had to start with the old people to get to the babies. That's how they progressed them. But in the movie, they were like, we only got an hour and 32 minutes. So just drop her in with babies.
with the babies. So Jonas finds out the truth about releasing, and he understands quicker in the movie. Like, in the book, he's like, that's my dad. Like, he's watching the video of the releasing. He's like, that's my dad. He's going to make the baby all comfortable and blah, 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 and blah, 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 this.
Yeah.
And then in the movie, he's like, wait, what is he doing? Like, it's like quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that case, it's the difference between being an 18-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Right.
So, yeah.
And Jonas kisses Fiona, and she has feelings for him in the movie. That didn't happen in the book.
Mm-mm.
Jonas also punches Asher in the movie, and Jonas asks Fiona to come with him. She's not really, like, a big character in the book. And then Asher goes after Jonas. And I put good ending.
What a good ending.
So.
Yeah. So, that was The Giver. Which, like I said, 3 stars. 3 stars for me. 4 stars for her.
3 or 4.
Now we're going to move on to The Girl with All the Gifts. This one took me a while to finish reading. It is a long-ass book.
It is.
It is a long-ass book. And you know what? It's very slow.
Somewhat, yeah.
It's very slow. But what would you say the type of story?
So this is another dystopian.
Mm-hmm.
That is set in like a base
In the UK.
Yeah.
It starts off on a base, like
Yeah.
a military base in the UK.
With there's kind of like a lot of like foul-ish language and like some trigger stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like the sergeant is like, "Come on!" He's like, "What does he say?" Not the thing that he says, but he's just like,
He basically calls them monsters all the time.
he's like, "Come on, you abortions," and all that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just they treat him really bad.
Yeah, well, they all do.
Except for Miss Destiny.
Miss Justinu. And that, we'll get to that, but that's just a creepy interaction just all on its own, okay? It just really is. So, the story, let's see. It's you.
What is the main conflict?
So, the main conflict, it's kind of a two-parter. So, you've got this child, right? Who is, so this dystopian universe has got zombies, but they're not really zombies. They're called hungries.
Yeah.
And, which is lame. Come on, guys. You gotta come up with better names than that. Like, it's like calling them the biters or it's like, hey, right. What up, Captain Obvious? Like, just like, come up with a better name than the hungries.
Well, you got walkers.
Walkers, right. And you're just like,
Those are zombies.
it's a zombie, right?
Like in their world, they don't have like they've never
The name
like
for
heard of zombies.
Right.
They're just
And-
like, nope, they're hungries.
and you're just like,
they're hungry.
"Ew." So you've got the hungries, right? And what happens is there's a child and her name is Melanie. And Melanie is a hungry child. Like, she is born, which is really weird. So she is born out of a hungry. She's already infected.
Right.
But she doesn't have the all-consuming, like, hunger that her mom had or whatever.
Because they're like second generation.
Right.
Hungry.
Hungries, yeah. And so they're actually, she's actually able to learn and everything. So it starts off with all these kids that are hungries, and they are in a base and they are being studied by a scientist named Colwell. I hate her.
Played by Glenn Close
Glenn Close.
in the movie.
I love Glenn Close. I hate Dr. Caldwell. But anyway, so, and then you've got the Junkers, who are, the Junkers invade the base and blow up and kill everybody. And then you've got Miss Justinu, Dr. Caldwell, Sergeant Parks, and Sergeant Gallagher, Private Gallagher, and Melanie, and they are on the run for their lives.
Right.
And so they have to get through all of, they're trying to go to a place called Beacon, which is where people who are not infected live.
Right.
And so they've got to go through all of hold on, I got an itch in my eye.
Hmm.
They got to go through all of these towns and countrysides in England.
And like the hungries are like, if they don't eat food for a long time, they kind of like just like sit and they're just like still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they have really good, like a really good sense of smell, really
And
good
hearing.
hearing.
Not so much eyesight, though.
Mm-mm.
Not so
And
much.
like the like pathogen,
Mm-hmm.
it's they're fungus zombies.
So if you guys have ever heard about the zombie fungus down in the African rainforest, and this fungus actually hijacks the brain of ants and then forces the ant to go to a very high place and just stay there. Eventually the fungus takes over the ant and the ant dies, and then the fungus bursts through the ant's exoskeleton and spreads its spores further out on the wind. And that's how it reproduces. So it is a real thing. The zombie mushroom is a real thing. And so in this book, that particular mushroom has jump species and then jump species again to where it's infecting humans.
Yeah.
Because right now it can't. It can't infect humans. It can't infect anything bigger than an ant right now.
Luckily.
Luckily.
Chance described it as like the zombies in The Last of Us, which I haven't played in a long time or watched the show, but it's kind of similar.
It
I would
is.
also say like kind of similar to Resident Evil 7, where they're like infected and it's all fungusy and
Right.
gross.
Right, yeah.
I'm just like,
They're like, kill. But yeah, it is a lot like that. A lot like that. So that's the conflict. And they have to get from the base where they're running for their lives to Beacon where they're supposed to be safe. But what they don't say until like the middle of the book is 5 weeks before they lost contact with Beacon.
Right.
So nobody's talked to Beacon for 5 weeks. So
who knows?
yeah. Yeah. What is the setting of the story?
So it starts off in the base,
It starts off in the base.
and then we move on to, different towns.
Mm-hmm.
In the same town. A lot of it takes place in that one spot.
Where
And-
Rosie is.
Yeah, and they really they never make it.
Mm-hmm. That's in the middle of London. Yeah. Yeah. And they never leave.
It's a good chunk.
Yeah.
It was like they got there and then that was just the setting.
Yeah.
For like the rest of the...
Yeah, yeah. I was just like...
I mean, like, that's cool, though. I mean, like, it's
I
cool...
feel like they gave up. Like, the author just gave up, and they were like, I'm tired of explaining all these towns that they're walking through. Let's just give them a right there.
Yeah. That's how it is.
I mean, I understand. Not knocking the author because writing is hard, but man.
M.R. Carey, I think.
Yeah.
That's who that is.
Yeah. So,
So how does the setting affect plot?
it really doesn't. It could have been set anywhere.
Sure.
Any huge metropolitan setting would have worked for this story. Because I guess you needed all of the big buildings and you needed all of the, but it really doesn't affect it at all. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it could be.
It could have been set anywhere. Could have been set in like Dallas instead of London or Beijing instead of London. You see what I'm saying? It could have been set anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't think that matters.
Writing what they know.
Right. What is the inciting incident?
When the Hungries take over the base.
It's not just the Hungries though.
And what is it?
The Junkers.
Yeah.
But in the movie, it's all Hungries.
Yeah.
The Junkers don't exist in the movie, which is kind of weird.
I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt bad for the guy when they were leaving and he's in the big tank and he opens the gate and he tries to get back to the tank and the Hungries are just like, ah!
Yeah.
I was just like,
It's like, did he draw the short straw? Like,
he didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, so that was the inciting incident that pushed them out into the wild, which is kind of cool for Melanie. Melanie the only thing she ever remembered was her cell and the classroom where she falls in love with her teacher, which is kind of weird. And like, I like in the movie, she's not so much in love with her teacher as in the book where she's like, in love with her teacher. Like, so it's kind of askew. And what's really, it kind of pisses me off is Miss Justinu knows that Melanie is in love with her, and she uses it to her benefit. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all, because this is a grown-ass woman and a hungry child. And she is just so manipulative in my mind. Of the way because she knows that Melanie is in love with her. And she uses that to her benefit. And Melanie has no idea that she is being manipulated. And I think even if she did, she'd still do it because she's in love with this woman. So it was disgusting to me, like just the whole, that part, Miss Justinu's part in the whole thing. You know, what do you think?
I thought it was just like I want to take care of you, make sure you're safe, and they kind of like back and forth. But like, you know, how I saw in Death on the Nile, the incestuous relationship, and you were just like, nah, it's not like that. But I mean, like, maybe you saw something I didn't.
That's true. That's true. But you know what Miss Justinu even says in the book is she's like, hi, I'm Melanie and I have a crush on my teacher. She knew. So like she even says it. She even voices it. So, and then Sergeant Parks even voices it. He's like, you know, she's in love with you. And she's like, yes. So, I mean, it's not.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe the English say it differently.
That's true. That's true. All right. So,
describe the main characters.
Okay. So we have, I'm going to break it down starting from the military. So we have Private Gallagher, who is this red-headed, he's just like wet behind the ears. He comes from a line of abusers and he doesn't want to be part of that anymore. So he joins the military in order to get away from his father and his brothers. Makes sense.
Right.
And you got Sergeant Parks, and Sergeant Parks is this hard-nosed, you know what I mean? He's hardened and he absolutely hates the Hungries and he absolutely hates Melanie, and he just doesn't see a point in in everything that they're doing, but he's got a job to do and he's going to do it.
Right.
Then you have Miss Justinu, and she's brought in to be a teacher to these kids, and she teaches them basically theology, like myths and stuff like that. She's teaching them about life, and that is her job. But in doing her job, she builds this rapport with Melanie, who absolutely loves her stories and shit. So, and then you've got Dr. Caldwell, who is the bane of my freaking existence. Here's the thing. I understand doctors have a job, right? And I understand that they have logic and they have, you know, but why do they have to turn off their feelings and their foresight in order to do that job? Like, she can see that Melanie has feelings. She can see that Melanie has human type traits, right?
Right.
She refuses to acknowledge that Melanie feels. Not even that. I get that she's a hungry. I get it. I get it. She's not human. But at the same time, you don't have to be shitty about it. And then just cut into it like it's a head of lettuce. You're just like, I'm just going to cut open this head of lettuce. This head of lettuce doesn't have any feelings. And in the beginning, they even talk about the fact that she doesn't use anesthesia when she's dissecting these kids.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ew, no ma'am.
She like is like, it would be a waste.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're just like, you are studying everything and you have no fucks to give. And it really does just, I hate her. Then you have Melanie. And Melanie lives in a world of fantasy, basically. She's only known a world of fantasy through Miss Justinu's stories. And now she's out in the world, and she knows there's danger, but she's still living in a world of fantasy in her mind. Like, you know, but again, she's a kid.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So those are the main characters. What do you think?
You sure I'm all really well.
You think they...
Yeah, Dr. Caldwell was ass.
She was ass. She was so ass, you guys. So yeah. Do the characters feel real?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I'm with you.
Straight up. Absolutely not.
I agree. I don't see actual humans acting like that. Like actual people who have zero, like, but again, we've never had anything so detrimental as a zombie apocalypse, so I don't know how people would react come a zombie apocalypse.
I told you I would take myself out.
No, you get to come here and yes, you
I'm
can.
not living through the zombie apocalypse.
Dude, we're gonna make it. We've got a list.
I get that, but I don't want It's not a life worth living anymore.
Dude.
Let the zombies have the world, man.
Dude, I'm living. I call me crazy, whatever, but my will to live is just too strong. Plus my will to kill is just, no, I'm just kidding. Like, I got a list of folks, zombies or not, come zombie apocalypse, I'm popping bitches. So yeah, no, no, you don't get to off yourself.
Jeez.
We're gonna be awesome together. We're gonna be a power duo during the zombie apocalypse. You and me, guns, and bow and arrows.
We
and
don't have any guns.
I know where to get them. It's
Oh,
okay.
word.
It's okay. we got this. No, we don't have any guns
Not
because
yet.
we're crazy.
Yeah. Don't need them.
We don't need them. But don't worry. We'll find the guns. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Be
You
like
and
Dead
me,
Island.
Yeah, we'll have bandanas and shit. Like, we'll look like we're straight out of the Survivor video with Destiny's Child. With camouflage, like bikinis and stuff. And we'll be like,
Lord.
I'll give you the chance to get skinny. Let's go. Oh, because we're not eating. Because there's no food.
Exactly.
All right, where are we?
So, describe the minor characters.
There's not
really any.
There's not any minor characters. They all play a huge part in the book. They all have their part in the book.
Right.
So yeah, no. There's no minor characters in this book. They all have a reason.
In the movie, there was another private,
Mhm.
but I forget
Yeah.
his name. He was very minor.
He was so minor.
He gets bit, and then Sergeant's like, "You're bit," and he's just like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." And then he starts like tweaking.
The sergeant was like, "Fuck." So yeah. The movie. So in the book, there's this little. She's like Snow White girl with like white blonde hair and blue eyes. Right. In the book, but in the movie, she's actually a little black girl, which is funny to me because the first line of the book is, "My name is Melanie," which means woman of color, but she's white in the book. And then in the movie, she's black, which is kind of funny to me. I was like, Hollywood made it right. Hollywood was like,
And then Gallagher is a black man
yeah,
in the movie.
in the movie. And in the book, he's a red-headed ginger. So,
Which is weird, like Shameless, if you watch Shameless.
yeah.
Gallagher.
Gallagher.
So let's see.
Who is the villain? Give it to me.
Dr.
Say it.
Caldwell.
Yay!
She's awful.
Dr. Caldwell is.
She deserved to die.
She deserved what she got, y'all. Now, go ahead.
See, in the book, they were like light. So, like in the book, when the Hungries and the Junkers are taking over the base, she gets cut up on her hands, and then she ends up getting blood poisoning, and she passes just like in the book.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like a slow type
It's
death.
very slow.
But she's like, Melanie, let me work on you. So let me come on my research. Blah 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 blah. But in the movie, she goes out to find. She's still dying from blood poisoning.
Yes.
But she goes out to find Melanie, and she gets eaten by hungry kids. And I was just like, yeah.
That's true. I was like, boy, that is justice right there.
Yeah.
The hungry kids were like, oh.
They was eating good. They had 2 meals in one day.
That's right, because they had the rats and stuff before. Yeah. So I thought that was very warranted. That woman needed to go. And you know what else in the movie? They don't talk about Justinu's past.
In the movie?
In the movie, they don't talk about her right before the apocalypse happens.
Yeah.
What happened to her? So that was left out. Like in the movie, she's this lily white, justice for all type of woman. But in the book, she's not. In the book, she is part asshole. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, she's like, in the beginning, all she wants to do is go back to Beacon.
Yeah.
She hates it at the base. And these kids all look up to her. Then you got Melanie, who's in love with her. And she touches Melanie on the head and then goes and scrubs her hand like she has put her hands in acid. And she is just so, like, one-sided. And I don't like her character. I don't hate her as much as I hated Caldwell. But like I said, I feel like she's manipulative. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I like Miss Justinu.
In the book or the movie, which one did you like better?
Probably the movie.
I like the movie one better. Yeah. She was just pure. She was just more like you knew where her allegiances lied. As with the book, she was waffly. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did we do that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, who is telling the story?
The story actually gets told from everybody's point of view.
True.
Except for there's only a few chapters with Dr. Caldwell, but not as much as like, who gets a lot more chapters, which is kind of weird? Sergeant Parks gets a lot more chapters, which I like him. Like, I understand where he's coming from. He's a soldier through and through, right? He's got a job to do. He hates this job, but he's got a job to do. And it makes sense to me. But at the same time, there's just a lot of chapters where it's his point of view, but they all get chapters.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
They all get some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I liked Melanie's chapters when she was like by herself.
Yeah. Yeah. When she's looking at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just like, ooh. Like,
yeah.
Like, especially like in the movie, she goes in the house and she's looking at the pictures on the fridge.
Yeah.
And she's looking through stuff and she's just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, because she never gets to like see this type of stuff.
She'd never seen it. She'd heard of it. She'd never seen it. And I think that's very telling. Like, this girl has been in a cell her whole life. So, yeah. Yeah. How should we feel about what's happening?
I don't know. How do you feel?
I really just didn't have
I wasn't like...
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of, like... It was a very drag on-ish. Even the movie too.
Yeah.
It just really drug on, and I just really could not get a feel. Like, the best part of the whole book for me was when Miss Justinu punches Dr. Caldwell in the face.
Yes.
I was like, that was fucking fantastic. So I was like, yeah, that's fucking fantastic. I was like, that's how it's supposed to be. Somebody needs to stand up to this woman.
Right.
Yeah. And then she's looking at her and just like, she's like, did that make you feel better? And I was like, you know what? I would have proceeded to punch her again just for talking in my presence. I was like, oh no, you don't get to talk. What?
Like in the book, she's just like talking to Sergeant Parks. She's like, "You gonna do something?" Like, she just assaulted me,
Right.
and he's just like,
like, what am I supposed to do?
it's just like, you kind of deserved it.
She did. She definitely did.
So, how do the characters struggle as a result of their decisions?
Well, their decisions, like, it doesn't seem like they're making a whole lot of decisions on their own. A lot of the things that they're doing is as led by Sergeant Parks, I feel like. Melanie is not making her own decisions. You know,
Except to
she's
get that damn cat.
girl. And she did that shit. Like,
Like Miss Justinu was just like, they're like, see a cat, and Miss Justinu's like, "Oh, do you want one?" She's like, "I already had one."
I was just, it's a true story. And you're just like, oh,
Her kitty.
my poor cats. Oh, my cat has disappeared, apparently. I think I put him down earlier, but yeah. Anyway.
But also Gallagher, I mean, like, he got dead as
He
a
did.
result of his decision.
Yes.
He was like, abandoned them.
He ran away.
Yeah.
He ran away. And I was just like I didn't see that coming.
It was random for like the movie, but like in the book, like Melody says that she sees the Junkers
Right.
again.
Right.
And I guess he gets scared, but it's actually she saw hungry kids.
Right.
More hungry kids.
Right.
And so he is just like, oh, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
But in the movie, he just runs away.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous because even if she did see Junkers, why would he run away? Because he wasn't trying to run away before that.
Yeah.
Like before that, he was getting everything together and he was following orders and he was very proud to be a soldier. And so it was just very random about him running away because it came out of left field.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't understand that. And then he gets dead.
He got eaten.
Yeah. It's kind of sad because I liked him. He
Yeah.
was a sweet guy.
And then like he's sitting there and he's just like all the kids are trying to get him and he like pulls out a grenade
Yeah.
and he's just like you see this, boom, and they just like don't understand and he's like please don't do this, please stop. Like I'm just like, dude, if you don't blow them kids up.
Yeah. Yeah. He just begging them and they're all looking at him like, you are a steak.
Yeah.
With a side of baked potato and a side salad.
You're looking good. Scrumdiddlyumptious.
So yeah. That made me sad though, because I liked his character though.
Yeah.
I liked
like-
him. But it was just like suddenly he's a coward. Like I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all. So yeah. So what do you think about the characters' choices?
So let's talk about the ending.
Okay.
So Sergeant not Sergeant, but what is his name?
Sergeant Parks?
No, the other guy.
Gallagher?
Private Gallagher's dead. Dr. Caldwell is dead. You got Sergeant Parks, Miss Justinu, and Melanie.
Mhm.
And they're just all that's left. And Caldwell had explained to Melanie about how if they find this I didn't like how it was shown in the movie because it's described this big, long, like curtain
Mm-hmm.
that just goes on for miles and miles
Yeah.
of like this mushroom spore
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But in the movie, it's just like a bunch of bodies.
And a tower.
Yeah. And it's
that,
just like
that
up.
make a tower. It's weird.
But I'm just like, in the book, it was just like a curtain. And
Yeah.
Melanie goes through it and she's like, Sergeant Parks is like, check it out. Like, maybe we can go around it, see how deep it goes. And so Dr. Caldwell takes one of like the seeds and is like, if this like heats up,
It'll pop.
and then the spores will spread everywhere and everyone on the planet will die.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The only thing this bitch is good for, by the way.
thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And so, Melanie decides that she's gonna. How did she blow it up? Did she?
I don't remember.
I
I don't remember. In the movie, she uses a flamethrower on the tower of bodies.
okay.
Yeah. And because Parks dies,
Yeah.
so she decides that she's just going to release the spores. But in the movie, I honestly think she did it so that she could trap Miss Justinu in the armored vehicle.
Which you don't like. How did she get food? How did she live?
Yeah. Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. And meanwhile, Miss Justinu is sitting there reading books to all of these hungry kids.
Yeah.
Because the world is ending and she's literally the last human.
And Sergeant Parks he's dying. He's like twitching and stuff, and he's just like, I don't want to go like this. I don't want to be one of you.
Yeah.
So then Melanie freaking shoots him in the freaking head.
Yeah. Melanie was like, okay, I don't want you to be one of me, bitch. But yeah, so, and I really don't care for the ending.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it could have been better.
And you never know what happened to Beacon.
Maybe there is a second book.
There is a second
maybe
book.
they talk about it in the other book. I don't know. I may read it eventually. I know you're not down. But
I'm really not. I'm really not. You know what? I had seen this movie before, right? And I just really didn't care for it. I love zombie movies.
yeah.
I love zombie movies, but I just really didn't care for it. And so when reading the book, and the differences just made it all the more that I really just didn't care for it.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of nothing. Like there was no explanation. It was just a lot of nothing. And that's how I felt with the movie too. There was just no explanation. Like, where did these zombie kids come from? Like all of them. And if their parents are dead and not taking care of them, how are they still walking around catching rats and stuff? Like, you see what I'm saying? There's just no exposition.
Well, you mean what? What do you mean?
Okay.
How did
so,
they become hungry?
No. I know how they became hungries, but Parks doesn't know how they became hungries.
Dr. Caldwell knows.
Yeah, Dr. Caldwell knows. And she's not telling. Okay. Then you've got the leader hungry kid, right? The older kid.
Yeah.
And he's older than anybody else. But how did he make it? You see what I'm saying? Because it's not like a newborn baby is going to be able to like go out and catch rats.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. And that's what this book and movie just didn't make any sense to me, and I did not like it.
You didn't like it at all.
Well, I mean, there were certain parts that I liked, like pieces, but it was just long, drawn out, day-to-day stuff that just didn't have an ending. Like, it just, I don't know.
I feel like that the movie did like drag,
Mm-hmm.
and then it got to a certain part, and then it was just like boom, 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 boom.
Right,
Let's
right.
just insert all this other stuff.
Yeah, everything else.
But like, also, if you didn't read the book,
you're right.
then the movie really kind of doesn't make sense.
That's true.
Because like whole things with Dr. Caldwell, like she's evil.
Yeah.
Like in the book, she is evil.
Yeah.
Chopping up kids, and it's described.
Yeah.
And like she chops off this kid's head, like traps him in a door and like chops off his head.
Mm-hmm.
And like then you watch the movie, if you read the book, then you're like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is how it should have gone.
Yeah.
But then like if you're just watching the movie, you're just like, I don't understand.
there's
she
no-
wasn't that bad.
Right. Exactly. Because, I mean, they couldn't really make her that bad. You know, a movie is hard because, you know, the public. A book is always so much better. So, what do you think about the characters' choices? Let's talk about Melanie's choice to release everything.
It was, well, in her mind, it was for the best.
Mhm.
Because then the kids, it would like hope that future generations would be better.
Right.
And they would be like her or better.
Right.
So
Sorry, guys.
being able to learn and not want to kill things. But also now they're just like gonna eat rats and
Yeah.
dogs and
Yeah.
cats.
Yeah. But then you've got her thought process of basically keeping Miss Justinu. Like, she's keeping her. Like, she is in a dollhouse, basically.
Yeah.
Which is just not a way to live either. But she can't leave because all the spores are out.
And she'll die.
Mm-hmm. So,
She can't just, it's weird. It doesn't make sense to me how they can't become like the kids.
yeah.
Like, because they already have all the knowledge.
Right.
So why can't they just get the spores and then be fine?
Right. Right. I don't know. And that's another thing that Dr. Caldwell never explains. Because I'm almost positive that she knew why the kids were the way that they were. She was trying to find a cure. You know, but I think it has something to do with the gestation process. So if you've always been that way, and basically it's written in your DNA, then you're able to adapt. Whereas if you were never like that, and then it was introduced to the body, then you just totally break down.
Got it.
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And it just eats your brain.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's your star rating of the book?
Of the book, I'd give it a 3.5.
Okay. What about the movie?
The movie was better to me. So I'll give it a 4.
I probably give both.
Yeah.
I think maybe I gave the book a 5. I would have to look. I
Oh,
forget.
you were super generous because that was awful. I'm telling you, it was just
It was
real-
different.
Yeah. Yeah, it was different. It was different. Although I just finished reading that other book, and that shit was awesome.
Which one?
The Darcy Coates book.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me.
Yeah. That was awesome.
It the audio book is on Audible, so I'll be able to get it.
Nice, nice. All right, so those are our 2 choices for this video. Again, it was The Giver and The Girl with All the Gifts.
Yes.
So, what do we got coming up next?
So next week we are doing 2 books again.
Mm-hmm.
2 books, 2 movies. We're doing a Stephen King double feature.
It is a Stephen King double feature.
So we will be doing The Mist and Bag of Bones.
yes,
which
yes.
I've already read The Mist, and it's short, and I haven't started Bag of Bones, and it's long.
It is a big book. If you guys have ever seen Bag of Bones, the book, then you know that
530 pages.
it is long. It is long. So, but we're doing those. What else do we got going on?
We're gonna be watching some movies towards the end of the month. We're gonna do, I think it's called Anyone But You, starring Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. It's a comedy, and I don't know. I think it'll be good. I mean, something different for us.
Yeah.
Because we watched No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence, and Mom actually liked it.
It was.
It was. She was like, "This movie is a little weird," but then at the end, she was like, "You know,
It's not a movie that I would watch again, but I did enjoy it when I watched it. It was good. Yeah. So I liked it.
And we're planning for like a Christmas. We're trying to figure out what like a horror Christmas movie to watch. So we're between It's a Wonderful Knife, which came out last month.
But we can't find it anywhere in the theaters.
So we're gonna figure that out. Or The Mean One, which came out last year, and it's starring the guy who plays Art the Clown in All Hallows Eve.
Awesome.
Right?
I think so. The pacifier.
Also, what? No, All Hallows Eve and Terrifier.
The Terrifier pacifier. Terrifier. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dan Howard
He's
Thornton?
the clown guy.
Yeah,
I like that.
he plays the Grinch. So we're gonna choose between those depending on if we can find It's a Wonderful Knife,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, it sounds interesting.
I just don't understand why it was only in theaters for like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
And now we can't find it
and
anywhere.
people are like have already done reviews on it, but they
Can't find it. Can't find it. So, also, you guys, we are still looking for suggestions for January.
Right?
We're still looking for ideas on what you guys would like to see us review for January. So if you guys could comment below, we'd really appreciate it.
Some ones that we're thinking, drunk Q&A.
Yes, a drunk Q&A, which we can't do every week, you guys. 'Cause
No.
holy shit.
Yeah. Definitely like one week.
It'll probably be like the New Year's
Oh, that would be
episode.
great.
Yeah, the New
Oh.
Year's episode, and we might do it like live. We can go live
Yeah.
on YouTube. So what just some ideas for January.
And some ramen review. I want to do a ramen review.
We should do food reviews, like different international food reviews. Maybe we'll do that in January. That sounds fun, actually.
Figure.
Yeah. Okay, so just some ideas. If you want us to do the international food review, just leave a comment below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And as always, you guys, thanks. Bye.